My mom was a drunk, not just a slur, so word drunk, but waking up in her own vomit kind of drunk. I just can't be around her when she's gone like that. Unless we can look behind, light herself on fire with it.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, choose of all ages, I bring to you the soon-to-be platinum plaque winner of the world, your boy Stingray Cool. Welcome to the Stingray Cool podcast. Before we start the show, let's hit you with the intro. Yeah, boy. We gotta talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the one that did a lot for the black community and our community. He's my man, the late great Huey P Newton. Huey P Newton. Oh, so this was the piece stand for Percy. Huey Percy Newton, born February 17th, 1942, died August 22nd, 1989. The year before I was born, was an African American revolutionary and political activist. Newton was most notable for being a co-founder of the Black Panther Party, where he operated the organization as the de facto leader. Newton crafted the party 10-point manifesto with Bobby Seale in 1966. Huey P. Newton. So he was 47 years old when he died. Born Huey Percy Newton, February 17th, 1942, in Monroe, Louisiana. U.S. Died August 22nd, 1989, age 47, in Oakland, California, U.S. Cause of death, murder by gunshot. Education, Merritt College, San Francisco Law School, University of California, Santa Cruz. occupation activist, years active, 1963 to 1969. Organization, the Black Panther Party, known for founding the Black Panther Party, notable revolutionary suicide, notable work, I meant revolutionary suicide. Spouses, Gwen Fortin, married 1974, divorced 1983. Frederica Newton, married 1984, children 4. Under Newton's leadership, the Black Panther Party founded over 60 community support programs. See, yeah, 60 community support programs, renamed survival programs in 1971, including food banks, medical clinics, sickle cell anemia tests, prison busing for families of inmates, legal advice seminars, clothing banks, housing cooperatives, and their own ambulance service. The most famous of these programs was the Free Breakfast for Children program, which fed thousands in, of improvised children daily during the early 1970s. Newton also co-founded the Black Panther newspaper service, which became one of America's most widely distributed African American newspapers. In 1967, he was involved in a shootout which led to the death of police officer John Frey and injuries to himself and another police officer in 1968. He was convicted of voluntary manslaughter by Frey's death and sentenced to 2 to 15 years in prison. In May 1970, the conviction was reversed after 2 subsequent trials ended in hung juries. The charges were dropped later in life. He was also accused of murdering Caitlin Smith and Betty Pater, although he was never convicted for either death. Newton learned to read using Plato's Republic, which influenced his philosophy of activism. He went on to earn a PhD in social philosophy from the University of California at Santa Cruz. History of Consciousness program in 1980. In 1989, he was murdered in Oakland, California by Tyrone Robinson, a member of the Black Guerrilla family. Newton was known for being an advocate of self-defense and used in position as a leader within the Black Panther Party to welcome women and LGBT people into the party, holding the belief that homosexuals might be the most oppressed people. Hmm. Early life and education. Newton's senior yearbook photo in 1959. Oh, of course, I ain't even showing the picture, but Newton was born in Monroe, Louisiana in 1942 during World War II, the youngest child of Millie Johnson and Walter Newton, a sharecropper and Baptist lay preacher. His parents named him after Huey Long, former governor of Louisiana. Monroe is located in Louisiana's Ocala Parish. I think Ochita Parish, Ochata Parish, which has a history of violence against blacks since Reconstruction, according to 2015 report by the Equal Justice Initiative. From 1877 to 1950, a total of 37 black people were documented as lynched in that parish. Most murders had taken place around the turn of the 20th century. This was the fifth highest total of lynchings of any county in the South. As a response to the violence, the Newton family migrated to Oakland, California, participating in the second wave of the Great Migration of African Americans out of the South. And see, the Newton family was close knit but quite poor. They moved often within the San Francisco Bay Area during Newton's childhood, despite his Newton said he never went without food and shelter as a child. As a teenager, he was arrested several times for criminal offenses, including gun possession and vandalism at age 14. Growing up in Oakland, Newton stated that he was made to feel ashamed of being black. In his autobiography, Revolutionary Suicide, he wrote, "During those long years of Oakland public schools, I did not have one teacher who taught me anything relevant to my own life or experience. Not one instructor ever awoke in me to desire, in me a desire to learn more or to question what to explore the worlds of literature, science, and history. All they did was try to rob me of the sense of my own uniqueness and worth, and in the process, nearly killed my urge to inquire." Newton graduated from Oakland Technical. Newton graduated from Oakland Technical High School in 1959. He attended Merritt College, where he earned an Associate of Arts degree in 1966. Plato's Republic was an influential work in Newton's early adult life. He told the court, he told the court during the trial for the killing of Officer John Frey that he had learned to read from studying the Republic. After that, he started questioning everything in his autobiography, Revolutionary Suicide. He states, "Most of all, I questioned what was happening in my own family and in the community around me." Newton continued his education studying at San Francisco Law School and the University of California at Santa Cruz, where he earned a bachelor's degree. He was a member of the Phi Beta Sigma. He later continued his studies, and in 1980 he completed a PhD in social philosophy at Santa Cruz. Yes, here we go. Founding of the Black Panther Party. As a student of Merritt College in Oakland, Newton became involved in Bay Area politics. He joined the Afro American Association, AAA, and became a prominent member of the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, Beta Chi chapter, and played a role in getting the first African American history course adopted as a part of the college's circular curriculum. Newton learned about Black history from Donald Warden, who later would change his name to Khalid Abdullah Tariq al Mansour, the leader of the AAA. Later, Newton concluded that Warden offered solutions that didn't work. In his autobiography, Newton says of Warden, the mass media, the oppressors give him public exposure for only one reason: he will lead the people away from the truth of their situation. In college, Newton read the works of Karl Marx, Vladimir Lenin, Franz Fanon, Malcolm X, Mao Zedong, Emile Durkheim, and Che Guevara. Oh, I know Malcolm X. I don't really know the other guys like that. I check them out. During his time at Merritt College, he met Bobby Seale, and the two co-founded the Black Panther Party of Self-Defense, also known as BPP. In October 1966, based on a casual conversation, Seale became chairman and Newton became Minister of Defense. The Black Panther Party was an African American left wing organization advocating for the rights of self defense for the black people in the United States. The Black Panther Party beliefs were greatly influenced by Malcolm X. Newton stated, "Therefore, the words on this page cannot convey the effect of that Malcolm had on the Black Panther Party. All through, as far as I am concerned, the party is a living testament of his life work. The party achieved national and international renown through their deep involvement in the Black Power movement and the politics of the 1960s and 1970s. The party's political goals included better housing, jobs, and education for African Americans were documented, and their 10-point program and a set of guidelines to the Black Panther Party's ideals and ways of operation. The group believed the violence or the threat of it might be needed to bring about social change. They sometimes made news or the show of force as they did When they entered the California legislature fully armed in order to protest a gun bill aimed at disarming them, many BPP members were associated to violence as they were from families that had left the South where lynchings against blacks had caused thousands of deaths. Mhm. Newton adopted Newton adopted what he termed revolutionary humanism. Although he had previously attended Nation of Islam Moscow, he wrote that I have had enough of religion. I could not bring myself to adopt another one. I needed a more concrete understanding of social conditions. Reference to God or Allah did not satisfy my stubborn thirst for answers. Later, however, he stated, as far as I'm concerned, when all of the questions are not answered, when the extraordinary is not explained, when the unknown is not known, there is room for God because the unexplained and the unknown is God. Newton later decided to join the Christian church after the party disbanded during his marriage to Frederica. Newton would frequently pool halls, campuses, bars, and other locations deep in the black community where people gathered in order to organize and recruit for the Panthers, while hmm, while recruiting Newton sought to educate those around him about the legality of self-defense, the legality, I think, of self-defense. One of the reasons he argued why black people continue to be persecuted was their lack of knowledge of the social intuitions that could be made to work in their favor. In Newton's autobiography, Revolutionary Suicide, he writes, "Before I took criminal evidence in school, I had no idea what my rights were." Newton also wrote in his autobiography, "I tried to transform many of the so-called criminal activities going on in the streets into something political, although that had to be done gradually." He attempted to channel these daily activities for survival into significant community actions. Eventually, the illicit activities of the few members would be superimposed on the social program work performed by the Panthers, and this miscreation would lose them some support in the black community. And Wright Newton and the Panthers started a number of social programs in Oakland, including founding the Oakland Community School, which provided high level education to 150 children from improvised urban neighborhoods. Other Panther programs included the Free Breakfast for Children program and others that offered dances for teenagers and training in martial arts. According to Oakland County Supervisor John George, Huey could take street gang types and give them a social consciousness. In 1982, Newton was accused of embezzling 600,000 in state aid to the Panther Foundation. Oakland Community School. In the wake of the embezzlement charges, Newton disbanded the Black Panther Party. The embezzlement charges was dropped 6 years later in March 1989 after Newton pleaded no contest to a single allegation of cashing in a $15,000 state check for personal use. He was sentenced to 6 months in jail and 18 months probation. Fatal shooting of John Fry. Newton had been convicted of assault with a deadly weapon and for reportedly stabbing another man, Adele Lee, with a steak knife in mid 1964. He served 6 months in prison. By October 27th to 28th, 1967, he was out celebrating release from his probation period. Just was just before dawn on October 28th, Newton and a friend were pulled over by Oakland Police Department officer John Frey. Realizing who Newton was, Frey called for backup after fellow officer Herbert Haynes arrived. Shots were fired and all three were wounded. Haynes testified that the shooting began after Newton was under arrest, and one witness testified that Newton shot Frey with Frey's own gun as they wrestled. No gun on either Frey or Newton was found. Newton stated that Frey shot him first, which made him lose consciousness during the incident. Frey was shot 4 times and died within the hour, while Haynes was left in serious condition with 3 bullet wounds. Black Panther David Hillard took Newton to the Oakland Kaiser Hospital, where he was admitted with a bullet wound to the abdominal. Newton was soon handcuffed to his bed and arrested by Frey's killing. A Dr. Thomas Frantz and nurse Corinne Leonard attended to Newton when he arrived at the hospital. Frantz stated that Newton was agitated when asking for treatment and that Newton was given a tranquilizer to calm him. Newton was convicted on September 1968 of voluntary manslaughter for the killing of Frey and was sentenced to 2 to 15 years in prison in May 1970. The California Appellate Court reversed that conviction, ordered a new trial after two subsequent trials ended in hung juries. The district attorney said he would not pursue a fourth trial, and the Alameda County Superior Court dismissed the charges. In his autobiography, Revolutionary Suicide, Newton wrote that Haynes and Frey were opposite each other and shooting in each other's direction during the shootout. He footnotes in the view page. He Pearson on the Shadow of the Panthers, August 21st, 1994. C-SPAN. Basically, that's an external video you can check out if you want to. Hugh Pearson, in his book Shadow of the Panther, writes that Newton, while intoxicated, boasted about having willfully killed Frey, Charles E. Jones, in the instruction of the Black Panther Party. Reconsidered states that claim has not been corroborated by others. Free Huey campaign. Newton was arrested on the day of the shooting on October 28, 1967, and pled not guilty to the murder of Officer John Frey. The Black Panther Party immediately went to work organizing a coalition to rally behind Newton and champion his release. In December, the Peace and Freedom Party, a majority white anti-war political organization, joined with the Black Panther Party in support of Newton. His alliance served the dual purpose of legitimizing Newton's cause while boosting the credibility of the party within the community of more radical activists. Under the leadership of the Black Panther Party and the Peace and Freedom Party, 5,000 protesters gathered in Oakland on Newton's birthday, February 17, 1968. In support of Newton, they garnered the attention of international organizations, raising the profile of the party by outstanding measures. The phrase "Free Huey" was adopted as a rallying cry for the movement, and it was printed on buttons and T-shirts. Prominent Black Panther Caitlin Cleaver claimed the goal of the Huey of claimed the goal of the Free Huey campaign was to elevate Newton as a symbol of everything the Black Panther Party stood for, creating something of a living martyr. The trial, which began on July 15th, quickly ascended beyond the scope of Newton himself, evolving in a racially charged political movement over the 2 year course of Newton's original trial and two appeals. The coalition continued to offer support until the charges was overturned and Newton was released on August 5th, 1970. Visit to China. In 1970, after his release from prison, Newton received an invitation to visit the People's Republic of China. On learning of Nixon's plan to visit China in 1972, Newton decided to visit before him. Newton made the trip in late September 1971 with fellow Panthers Eleni Brown and Robert Bay and stayed for 10 days. At every Chinese airport he landed in, Newton was greeted by thousands of people waving copies of the Little Red Book, officially titled Quotations from Chairman Mao Zedong, South Song, I think, and displaying signs that said, "We support the Black Panther Party, down with U.S. imperialism," or "We support the American people, but the Nixon imperialist regime must be overthrown." During the trip, the Chinese arranged for him to meet and have dinner with the ambassador from North Korea, an ambassador from Tanzania, and delegations from both North Vietnam In the Provisional Revolutionary Government of South Vietnam, Newton was under the impression he was going to meet Mao Zedong, chairman of the Chinese Communist Party, but instead had two meetings with Chinese Premier Zhou Enlai. One of these meetings also included Mao's wife, Jiang Qing. Newton described China as a free and liberated territory with a socialist government. Following Newton's Asian trip, the Black Panther Party began incorporating North Korea's juicy ideas into the party's ideology. Allegations of violence. On August 6, 1974, Caitlin Smith, a 17-year-old Oakland native and child prostitute, was shot. She died 3 months later, according to the prosecutors handling the case. Newton shot Smith after a casual exchange on the streets, during which she referred to him as Baby, a childhood nickname he hated. Newton is also alleged to having assaulted his Taylor Preston Callins after Callins called him Baby. Newton posted bond after being arrested for pistol whipping Callins, a crime for which he later acquitted. Newton was subsequently arrested a second time for the murder of Smith, but was able to post an additional 80,000 bond, $80,000 bond, $80,000 bond. Yeah. All right, here we go. For thus securing his release until trial. Newton and his family and his girlfriend, later his wife, Gwen Fortin, then fled to Havana, Cuba, where they lived until 1977, which prevented further prosecution of the two charges. Elaine Brown took over as chairperson of the Black Panther Party. In his absence, Newton returned to the United States in 1977 to stand trial for the murder of Smith and the assault on Callins. On October 1977, three Black Panthers attempted to assassinate Crystal Gray, a key persecution witness. A key prosecution witness. That's a key prosecution witness, what I'm trying to say. And Newton's up and coming trial, who had been present the day of Caitlin Smith murder. Unbeknownst to the assassins, they attacked the wrong house and the occupant returned fire during the shootout. One of the Panthers, Lewis Johnson, was killed, and the other two assailants escaped. One of the two surviving assassins, Flores Forbes, fled to Las Vegas, Nevada, with the help of Panther paramedic Nelson Melly. In November 1977, Malley was found by park rangers paralyzed from the waist down, from bullet wounds to the back, in a shallow grave in the desert outside of Las Vegas. According to Malley, he and Forbes were ordered by higher ups to be killed to eliminate any eyewitness accounts of the attempted murder of Crystal Gray. Malley recovered from the assault and told police that fellow Panthers Roland Reed and Alan Lewis was behind his attempted murder. Newton denied any involvement of knowledge and said that the events might have been the results of overzealous party members. During Newton's trial for assaulting Preston Callins, Callins changed his testimony several times and eventually told the jury that he did not know who assaulted him. Newton was acquitted of the assault in September 1978, but was convicted of illegal firearms possession. After the assassination attempt of Crystal Gray, she declined to testify against Newton after two trials and two deadlocked in juries. The prosecution decided not to retry Newton for Smith. Okay, here we go. For Smith's murder. In 2007, party member Erica Hogan stated in an interview that she had been repeatedly raped by Newton, the People's Temple of the Disciples of Christ. In January 1977, Jim Jones, leader of the People's Temple of Disciples of Christ, commonly shortened to the People's Temple, visited Newton in Havana, Cuba. The same year, after Jones fled to Jonestown, a community he established in Guyana for his followers, Newton spoke to temple members of Jonestown via telephone, expressed support for Jones during one of the temple's earliest white nights. Newton's cousin, Newton's cousin. Stanley Clayton was one of the few residents in Jonestown to escape the area before the 1978 mass murder of over 900 Temple members by Jones and his enforcers through forced suicide. Writing and scholarship. Newton received bachelor's degree, from the University of California in Santa Cruz in 1974 and 1978. While in prison, Newton met evolutionary biologist Robert Strivers. After Newton applied to do a reading course with Trivers as a part of the graduate degree in history of consciousness, he and Trivers became close friends and they published an analysis of the role of flight crew self-deception in the 1982 crash of Air Florida Flight 90. Newton earned a PhD in the social philosophy program of history and of consciousness from the University of California in Santa Cruz in 1980. His doctoral dissertation entitled War Against the Panthers, a study of reparations in America, analyzes certain features of the party and incidents that are significant in its development, among which are how the United States federal government responded to the BPP, as well as the assassinations of Fred Hampton, Bunchy Carter, and John Huggins. Sources for material use to support the dissertation included two federal civil rights lawsuits. One suit was against the FBI and the other government officials, while the other was initially against the city of Chicago. Later, Newton's widow, Frederica Newton, would discuss her husband's often ignored academic researches during C-SPAN's America's Perspective program on February 18th, 2006. Works. Huey Newton speaks on oral history, Pardon Records 1970, Huey P. Newton 1972, To Die For the People, The Writings of Huey Newton, ISBN 978 0 next month 03944 80855 Friends Scream. That's random house. Huey P. Newton Blake's 2009 Revolutionary Suicide. ISBN. Okay, here we go. With J. Herman Blake, Random House, 1973, published in 1995, with introducing by Blake, Newton Huey P. Huggins, Erica, 1975, Insights Poem with Erica Huggins, 1975, The Crash of Flight 90, Doomed by Self-Deception with Robert Trivers, Science Digest, 1982, Newton Huey P. 1996, War Against the Panthers, A Study of Reparations in America, ISBN 9780 exclamation mark 086316246. Harlem River Press, 1996. The published version of Newton's PhD thesis. You got Newton Huey, 2002, the Huey P. Newton Reader, edited by David Hillard and Donald Riff, Seven Stories Press. You got essays from the Minister of Defense, Black Panther Party, 1968, Oakland Pamphlet. Yeah, The Genius of Huey P. Newton, Awesome Records. That was June 1st, 1993. Then got the original vision of the Black Panther Party, Black Panther, 1973. Huey talks about the movement, about the Black Panther Party, cultural nationalism, SNCC, liberals and white revolutionaries, the movement, 1968. You got Newton Huey, 2009, To Die for the People, edited by Toni Morrison. Forward by Ellen Brown, Random House, 1972, City Lights, published in 2009. You got Newton P. Huey, 2019, The Huey P. Newton Reader, edited by David Hillard, the Donald West Introduction and Lane Save Stories. His death. All right, this is about the death of Huey P. Newton when he died the year before I was born. In the early hours of August 1922, 1989, Newton was murdered in front of the 1456 9th Street near the corner of Center Street in the lower bottom section of Oakland, California. Within days, Tyrone Robinson was arrested as a suspect. He was on parole and admitted that the murder to the police, claiming self-defense. The police found no evidence that Newton was carrying a gun. In 1991, Robinson was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to prison terms of 32 years to life. Robinson stated that his motive was to advance the black guerrilla family and Marxist Lynch's narcotics prison gang in order to get a crack franchise. Newton's funeral was held in Allen Temple Baptist Church, where he attended following his conversion. Some 100, 1,300 mourners was accompanied inside, another 500 to 600 listened to the service from outside. Newton's achievements in civil rights and works on behalf of black people, black children, and black families, and families. Newton's achievements in civil rights on behalf of black children and families. Newton's achievements in civil rights on works on behalf of black children and families. When Black Panther Party was celebrated, Newton's body was cremated and his ashes were interred in Evergreen Cemetery in Oakland. Thanks to the efforts of his wife, Frederica Newton, on February 17, 2021, and commemorations of the Black Panther Party, the city of Oakland erected a bust of Huey Newton near the corner where he was murdered. The same year, a commemorative plaque, Dr. Huey P. Newton Way, was applied in this section of 9th Street. In popular culture, in the song Changes by Tupac Shakur, Newton is referenced in the lyrics, "It's time to fight back." That's what Huey said. 2 shots in the dark, now Huey's dead. Although the lyrics was mistaken about the number of times Newton was shot when he was murdered. The song Propaganda 2000 by Dead Prez on their album Let's Get Free, Newton is referenced in the lyrics. 31 years ago, I would have been a Panther. They killed Huey because they knew he had the answer. The views that you see in the news is propaganda as far as well as the outro of the song, which samples an interview with Newton. Outro Huey P. Newton. Ooh, we view each other with a great love and a great understanding, and that we try to expand this to the general black population, and also people will press people all over the world and think that we differ from the some other groups simply because we understand the system better than most groups. Understand the system, and with this realization, we attempt to form a strong political base in the community with the only strength that we have, and that's the strength of a potentially destructive force if we don't let get freedom. The song Up in Arms in 2015 by American songwriter Phi P BHI Beeman BHIMAN is based on Newton's life. At James Vardas in 1968, documentary on the Black Panthers featured extensive interviews with Newton during his incarceration. The Boondocks comic strip by Aaron McGruder and related TV cartoon features a main character known as Huey Freeman, a 10-year-old African American revolutionary who was named after Newton. Freeman starts an independent newspaper dubbing it the Free Huey World Report. The song Same Thing in 2007 by band Flowbots mentions Newton somewhere between prayer and revolution, between Jesus and Huey P. Newton. That where you find Johnny Five shooting water guns at the audience while you scooting. Newton is mentioned in the song Mortal Man 2015 by Kendrick Lamar. How many leaders you said you needed, then left them for dead? Is it Moses? Is it Huey Newton or Detroit Red? Which Detroit Red is red as Malcolm X. That was his name before he converted to Islam. The fourth track of St. Vincent's 2014 St. Vincent's album is named after Newton. Newton is mentioned in the Ramshackle Glory song Free Here Till Utopia. Free Here Till Utopia, Free Here Till Utopia. Okay, here we go. Newton is mentioned in the Public Enemy's Welcome to the Terror Dome. The song Free Huey by the Boo Radleys from their King Size album 1998 is about the activists, about the activities of the Black Panther Party when Newton was an activist. Newton is mentioned in Buddy and ASAP Ferg's Black. Kendrick Lamar also mentioned Newton in the song High Power from his debut album Section Number 80. It was 6.80. And it stands up 6.80, 6.80, 6.80, 6.80, period, 6.80. All right, here we go. Man. In the stand up comedy special, Richard Pryor live in concert. Pryor requests the house lights be turned on the points out to introduce Newton in the crowd and thanks him for his attendance. Newton is mentioned discussed in the 1998 film Bullsworth as to why there are no more black leaders in America. Newton is mentioned by Michael Stivic in the January 15th, 1972 episode of All in the Family. Season 2, episode 16, Archie was being investigated by the federal government. In the closing scene, Mike told him he was good company. He mentioned Newton, Dr. Spock, and others. Huey Newton for Congress posted scene hanging in the wall in the third season of Amazon Prime series The Boys. I mean, Amazon Prime series The Boy. The Boys. Amazon Prime. Newton is mentioned by Nas on the song Queens to Get the Money on his 2008 Untitled album. And that's the story, Huey P. Newton. I had to give y'all a little Black History because it's still Black History Month. Hope y'all liked it. But yeah, he did a lot. There was the ups and downs of the things they said he did. But he came up with after school, the free lunch program to help the kids that was poor and had nothing to eat. It was for him. There wouldn't have been that. He taught black people self defense. From what I see, he's a big follower of Malcolm X. I ain't know went to China and North Korea and Vietnam, South Vietnam, and talked to the people. So he been over like different places and talked to all these different people in different countries and really got connected with them. Yeah, you should check out his book, Revolutionary Suicide. And I remember like hearing about like Huey from Boondocks was based off of him. Well, his name and where he at. So he got his own statue based off of him. And so he had so many influences. He taught so many people and connected with people. So he had so many programs and so many things he did. That was amazing. And yeah, he had his ups and downs, but But yeah, it's good too. Like I said, I'm gonna say allegedly some of the things 'cause I don't know him personally when he was alive. Can't say I don't think it's truth. I can't say what it was. But no, go do your research. Don't just take my word for it. Do your research about Huey P Newton and learn from yourself. I didn't realize Kendrick Lamar made a reference to him. I remember Pop making a reference to him in that song. I remember that. I like Dead Prayers too. Let's see who else we got. There's so many things he did, man. I didn't even realize. Yeah, do your research about him, man. So many good things you can learn about Huey P. Newton. Man, happy Black History Month again. Say it again. Yeah, man. I challenge everyone to promote a black business and any business of any race of people, man. Since we like to promote black men ain't doing this or black women ain't doing that, black women ain't blank, black men ain't blank. Let's promote black geniuses and geniuses of other race, and let's promote positivity. Everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and others. If you're gonna have the drama, have the positivity too. I already promoted a couple people. I promoted a local North Carolina restaurant. Go, the Fuzzy Peach, I think. And I also promoted Bow Wows, Wave Caps. And I also promoted Princess Lily. But yeah, I see what we got here. But yeah, man, it was a good story, man. I like reading in deeper detail because some people might not want to read it on Wikipedia. They might want someone to read it for them, so I read it for you in a cool, dope, fresh North Carolina way. But I like the story of him. Even when he's still a human, he wasn't perfect. You're gonna have the good and bad in every OG a legend story. But let's not let the bad override as good. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You hit the cash app, dollar sign, staying cool. But most importantly, hit them likes, man. And this is a good story, man. I like that. I know I took a 3 day break, a 2 day break, but now I had to get rejuvenated and rest my mind after working. But I had to put this out there to y'all about Huey P Newton so y'all black people can know y'all history. So you can learn for the history and grow and build brands and build bridges. Like Marlon Wayne said, black people don't build enough bridges. Now we'll get mad and talk junk about crazy stuff. Especially you like posting black man ain't S word or black woman ain't S word. But that's stupid. That make us look bad. Ain't no other race doing that but us. I mean, you got other races to do it. Let me phrase that, but not as bad as us. We'll say we love being black. We'll say white man this and white women doing that. But sometimes it's our own people. Well, we got the power to promote black business and black brands. But what's the first thing we do? When it's, and this don't go for every black people, just some, but when it's something negative, oh, we'll promote that, we'll share that world star and all that. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, we'll share it to that. But when it's a black business, a black positive, something black and positive, like the young black man that was on the CNN debate, talking with Degrassi about the Big Bang Theory, raised by a beautiful black mother and father who was intelligence, and they was destroying all the black stereotypes. Didn't knowing, but shout out to Kwame Brown for sharing that and bringing that to exposure. God bless Kwame Brown. God bless Dash Dillinger. God bless who all doing something for the black community. God bless Project Pat, who doing something for the community. God bless Charles and White doing something for the community. And God bless me, Stingray Cool, doing something for the community, both on the internet and in the real world. Let's make black positivity go viral again. Oh, yeah. And God bless Farrell said that because, one of my YouTube mentors, I'm learning a lot from him. Yeah, but that's not to put down black people because I ain't saying every black person doing this, but the ones who always be talking crazy, especially on Facebook, man, we gotta quit putting out this negative stuff. It's good to call. It's good to check black women when they need to be checked. It's good to check black men when they need to be checked. But it's also good to promote the positive stuff black people doing, or people who ain't black or black foreigners gonna think we all bad. They ain't gonna see the good in us, and it'll be our own downfall. We can't blame the white man, blame the white woman if it's stuff we doing ourselves. I ain't saying racism and stuff don't exist, but I'm talking about from mainly also from an internet perspective. If we all we doing is talking bad about each other, and we're not putting out the good stuff, the positive stuff that black people doing, everyone gonna see us as just doing bad or being bad people having beef. And I hit the 1 hour mark. Thank y'all for being me. I need everyone to be my whatever partner. So make sure I still stay true to my word. Shout out to Young Doug for doing this thing. I'm out. Peace, love, God bless. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell. And if you want to support the channel financially, you can hit the Cash App, $ Stingray Cool, $ STINGRAYCOOL. But most importantly, hit them thumbs up so build my algorithm up. I'm peace, peace, love. I love y'all. Y'all my friends. Y'all made me. I didn't make y'all. Love my fellow YouTubers. I love doing what I do, entertaining y'all, dropping knowledge, bringing the funk to your ear and the flavor to your sandwich. I mean, yes. We out. Hit you with the outro.